Welcome back to the Small Business Lover podcast. I don't know what episode we're on, so I apologize. It's been a minute.
Day 107.
My lovely guest is someone that's become like a friend. And I just love you so much. If you don't know, this is Sara of LadyLike Tattoo. Um, we've been trying to link up for a while to do this and just hasn't panned out till now, but I'm super thankful to have you. We just celebrated our 1 year anniversary, and she gave me this really cute ladylike tattoo. I'm hers now. It's happening, but they're super cute. Where can they get these?
From me.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm selling them at events and in your studio.
What a gem. You have to go see Sarah to get it. Not a bad.
Anyway, Jordan from so much. So
Okay.
we're own collab. So we have like an official barter relationship, always have, always will. Which is why I'm always wearing a lot of gold jewelry. But yeah, like it's gotten to the point where like if you know Jordan, you see Jordan, a lot of people follow me through her and like her body is like covered in tattoos. And so like she's like, I feel like I feel bad just giving you like more jewelry that like you don't necessarily need. She's like, what if we did like a collection and you could like sell it and like make your own money through that? Like I'll give you wholesale pricing or whatever, like kind of thing. So I was like, yeah, absolutely. So we're just like now on my own little jewelry collection in the studio because people love their jewelry and they literally like see us together a lot of the time. So
I have yet to make it down there to your studio, but I will one day. I think we just need to like black out a Monday.
yeah,
And we just do a bunch of them.
yeah.
But congratulations on that. Seriously. So like we were talking about this before we actually hit start and record. I met Sara when I was going through like probably one of the roughest times as a new entrepreneur. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I wasn't expecting that, not depression, but that like shame of like not having a job. Yeah, like what did I do? I don't have a job, quote unquote. And I remember being surrounded by like people like Sara and all these other women that I was like, fuck, like they have their shit together, and I felt like I just didn't yet. And then I remember we were tattooing, and we were just talking about like her story, which I'm super stoked to hear because I've never really heard that thing in its entirety. But she gave me a lot of perspective, and I don't think I've ever told you that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you remember, but we were talking. Dude, yeah. And like when you said that not everything, like the scales always have to balance out.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like talk about that because that changed my life.
Yeah, yeah, no, literally, that was like all in connection to like the freaking ticket that I got. Because I was like, I got pulled over on the way here to an event. I was like, but I had just like, we had just moved into the new apartment and like I was in the studio and I was like super excited and like had just spent like a bunch of money, but like everything was like seemingly just going really well. Like I had the money to spend, you know what I mean? So I was like, just felt really blessed. And then like get pulled over for like not having registration and insurance on the way here. And I was like, and it was like literally like the weekend we moved because like I was using my boyfriend's car instead of my car, which was not registered. It was very irresponsible of me. But I was like, use my car because my car is bigger. And I'll just, and so it was just like this weird kismet thing that happened. I was like, of course I got pulled over today. And I was like, the scales always have to be balanced. Like, it's like the universe is way of like giving us some humility and being like focus on your priorities. Like, we're not out of the thick of it yet. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm a big believer in like the fact that the universe will continue to send you lessons and to be learning. So it's like, people always, why does this always happening to me? Like, why does it, it's like making sure you're not doing anything differently. Like, maybe you need to like take a different perspective on things and like see like what is it that like the universe is trying to teach you through these like seemingly negative things that are happening. Because there's always like a positive help.
I feel like we're gonna get so deep in this conversation.
Well, welcome to my life. This is just me like yapping while I'm talking to you. Like, so anyways, thank you so much.
Yeah, I feel like we're like that meme when the guys are like supposed to be doing something serious, they're just dying, like laughing the whole time. I'm gonna sound like a crazy person, but like what you said right now about the lesson, no, it's wild. But I feel like lately I've been more of like an observer of my life versus participant.
Yeah.
Like almost like I could see those reoccurring lessons
Right.
in like real time, and I'm like, no, I want to do it different this time.
That's literally how I feel right now too. Yeah.
Are we in alignment,
Yeah,
bitch?
I think so. I think we really are like in conflict right now.
I love it. I was talking to Sarah about this thing that I want to do called the butterfly effect. By the time this airs, I'll probably have it out there. I've met so many cool chicks in the last year and a half that have really like healed my little heart. I had like so much trauma with women. I just never got close to them.
Oh yeah, sure.
And I don't know where that comes from, but
I mean, people gotta look out, but
yeah,
who wants to do that?
yeah,
Yeah, no, for sure. I definitely like have always felt really insecure around women and like, we're all like very much in competition with each other, like just societally, like we're put that push is put on us, you know what I mean? So it's hard and like and when we're younger, like a lot of us don't I mean for me I had like undiagnosed mental illness.
yeah.
You know,
There's that.
not a good friend. And I was like not good to women around me and like I can take accountability for that now. But like, putting the work in and like coming from a more genuine place, like you're gonna meet like your people, you know what I mean? And like you're gonna be able to see people differently. And like nowadays, like when I meet a woman who's insecure and like in competition, like I feel like so badly because I'm just like they're still like hurting, you know what I mean? And like they don't even know that like they don't have to do that. Like, that like there's so much more support and like realness by giving support and realness, you know? So yeah.
Were you always so dope? Like when did this happen? When did this start?
I don't know. I've always been like really the level-headed one, I think, like with my friends and like with people. It's funny because my mom is like so manic and like so insane. And like her friends growing up would be like, how did you get this daughter like out of that like situation? And then I was like, I think because I had to like be the yin to the yang,
Yeah.
like and like keep things calm and like I'm a Libra, so I'm just like always like very like like no complex, like we can, I see both sides, like of everything kind of thing. But yeah, I definitely was not always this self-assured and like there's always work to be done. Obviously I'm not like so like I'm not freaking healed, but I'm healing, which was like the important part.
For sure.
But yeah, it took like a lot of strife and just me like completely breaking down many times.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be like, okay, let's put the pieces together and like how are we gonna get through this? And a lot of where I am today is because I fought so hard to like just have a life worth living. Like that's super deep.
No.
I'm like, but it's the truth. Like, I got to a place where like I didn't want to live and like I was just so like not even like I want to kill myself. It was just like I'm just exhausted and like I don't know what to do anymore, and like I don't know what's wrong with me and I don't know how to love or be loved and like it's just too hard. And I like really just kind of like threw my hands up and was like, somebody like tell me what to do, and I got a mental health diagnosis, and I like was an inpatient briefly, which was like a terrible experience, but I'm glad that I did it because it was just like, when I started doing outpatient, like intensive outpatient, and like really just focusing on myself in that moment, and I think that I was able to like somebody told me like, oh, DBT, like that was like I could hear about DBT therapy, um, because like I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and like growing up watching Girl Interrupted, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was just like, duh, you know what I mean? Like, oh, check, like all the things, you know what I mean? And like, so everyone was like, oh, DBT therapy, like this is for, people with borderline because like people with borderline like it's they say it's not curable, like there's no, but like it's manageable, you know what I mean? And like DBT was created for people that like literally have no hope and that like even doctors have no hope for. They're like, these people are crazy, they're never gonna get better, like you whatever. It's borderline psychotic, you know what I mean? Like that's what it is. And but it's like it's personality disorder. You can't get rid of it necessarily, but you can manage it. And so I was like, well, if there's this thing that's gonna help me manage it, like where is it? What do I do? Where do I sign up? And so I just like went for it and like it was almost like I was at a point where like I had been so scared for so long, I think, and then I was just like, fuck, I have nothing to lose, you know? And so it's just and that's where like depression becomes powerful, you know, like in that moment of like, well, I might as well,
Yeah.
because I can just, this could be over tomorrow if I want. And I think it was weird. I'm like totally destroyed it. I'm sorry. But it was weird because like coming from sobriety into the mental health journey, like I think that that's what helped me because like in sobriety, you're like, fuck it, I could use tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what keeps you going. And I literally translated that, and I just realized that I translated that motto into my mental health, and that's how it started. Like with like, yeah, well, I could do it tomorrow, and that definitely helped me a lot in like just getting to where I am mentally and emotionally. So yeah, so anyways, I started doing BBT and it was amazing. Some crazy business shit happened there that I could talk for hours about.
Let's do it.
So I ended up going to BBT and met this chick Patty. But yeah, we ended up meeting. We ended up living together for like a year with like me and her, my ex, like all our freaking kids. Like it was just like this weird. Like both of us, and at that time, were like we needed a place to live, and like all just like out from literally get a house together. It was wild, wild time. But I ended up doing that, and then I had to have a transfer out of Kaiser to Harvard UCLA to continue the DBT therapy. And I was like really getting a lot out of it. And if you don't know what DBT is, I'll slightly go into it. It's like a skills-based program. It's created by Marshall Leanigan, like I said, for people with borderline, but it really can benefit anyone. Because it's less about processing and more about like learning skills to like change the behaviors that you want to change and like how to interact with like the world around you. And that's one of the models is like creating a life worth living, like don't make things worse. Like there's all these like and like again, very like similar it's like the 12 step almost, you know what I mean? Like it has a little bit of an air of that. It also has like an air of Buddhism and like see, it's really cool. Really, really cool. Very easy to follow and like easy to learn, I feel like. And like once you have like names for skills, like then you reach them. You know what I mean? Like it's very common sense shit. But you're like, oh, like look into my bag. What am I like? Okay, what skill can I use right now? You know what I mean? Like having a label on it like makes it easier to like process your emotion, like find a better solution, like not make things worse. So it's like things are not going to be great, but like they could not be worse. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And so the craziest part about my DBT journey is that I ended up transferring to Harvard UCLA and meeting Holly Granado, who became my therapist, and she studied under Marshall Leanigan, like the creator of DBT.
That's wild.
Yes. I was like, am I was like picked by the angels? Like,
Yes, you were.
I was like, what? Like, no one has ever needed this more. I was like, please, like, send me all the help you can. So yeah, I ended up like meeting with Holly, and she was like briefly my therapist, but had such a great experience there, and like was able to give out knowledge, and again, like very much in line with 12-step program, like you people you have like giving it away. Like I believe in that, and like giving away your knowledge. So like I talk about UC and therapy and my own issues all the time because I'm like I wouldn't like be here if there were people that did the same for me. So yeah, so by the end of my like experience in DBT, I ended up like my psychiatrist was like, I had just started talking, like I hadn't worked for a while. I had done like some random things, but we can talk about that later. But like I was just starting to like tattoo, and I was like really excited about it because art had also been like part of my journey and just like healing. And she was like, well, if the whole tattooing thing doesn't work out, like, I think you'd be a great CBT therapist. And I was like, that is the biggest honor, like, I have ever heard. Because I had been in it for, like, 3 years at that point. And but I was like, are you serious? Like, and she's like, the way that you, like, have absorbed the skills, the way you talk to everyone in the group, like, the progress that you've made, like, she was just like, I'm just so impressed. Like, and you really have, like, done the damn thing, basically. And I was like, wow, like, that was so fucking validating. And yeah, so anyways.
Dude, okay. See, this is why I'm doing
In a
this.
nutshell,
No,
therapy.
like, this is why I'm doing this. I had no idea, but it makes so much sense because you do come from such a place of wisdom.
Yeah.
It's giving White Lotus. Seriously. Like,
The lore runs deep. The lore is deep. Yeah.
It's so good though. And like, I'm telling you, like when I left, I was like so unhappy. And it was the wildest thing in hindsight because it's like I did all the things that I thought I was supposed to do. And I'm like, okay, cool. When I get to this level, like I'll be fine. I'll be happy. Dude, there's no amount of money in the world that could have made me happy at that time. Like I
Yeah.
was just fucking really struggling. And it's like crazy because I think I'm a strong bitch, right? Like
Mhm.
I can handle a lot of things. But like that broke me. Like that last year working, when everything happened and everything down, I was like, I need help.
Yeah.
But it just
And I
wasn't
think if this means anything to you, that like the word that pops in my mind when I think about it is right.
really. Thank
Like,
you.
really.
Thank you so much. I just like I was like willing to watch it burn to build it back up if that meant I'd be happy. And like that's what we're doing. And to see where we both are in a year. You were tattooing upstairs with me.
Yes, I loved all my what's all the time. I was like, okay, first upstairs pop up, let's move.
No problem.
Moves their whole last business in the first year. Like
Gotta go.
crazy. And but not only moves it, but like makes it like doubly as successful. Like it's just like exploded.
What are your thoughts on like, here's like what I've been thinking about a lot lately. Like I'm always striving for the next thing. And I don't know if it's like ADHD and like ADHD
Where you get energy girl.
and momentum and like all these things,
Yeah.
but I'm like always striving for something. And when I'm actually still, I have these moments of like, what if I'm trying to get somewhere and this is it? Like I should just enjoy this shit,
Right, yeah. There's definitely an aspect of that that like scares me when I think about the future. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like am I not enjoying it enough?
right?
Yeah. Like am I not like I need to slow down. One of actually the tarot reader that was here told me like when we had a session was like you need to make more time to create more things. Like basically like you're hustling, 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 like you're doing things, like you're going with doing markets, you're doing whatever connection. But like you have more ideas and like more things to do that you're like not actually making time for. And like, yeah, like if we slow down a little bit, like we could actually probably produce like much more. So it's definitely like again a balance, balancing the scales of that. Because like seemingly and like like I we were just talking about like financial stuff that's coming up here and there for me, and like it's like the more money I make, like the more crazy shit happens, and I'm like, I need to like sit my ass at home, like and chill, and like like yeah, just trying to look at like where am I imbalanced in that, and just like really enjoying like everyone
No,
because you and I have been hustling so hard
for a year.
for the last year and a half, like
Yeah.
and like Ruben and I have been talking about this, my work and I have been talking about this too. Like he as well. Like we both it's been like a really good team on like hustling and getting where we want to financially and like trying, but I'm like, okay, now it's time to like turn inwards a bit. And like because our mental health has suffered, I'm sure yours has suffered, and like you haven't been making that a priority. Like we haven't making like our balance of soul, like a priority. So I'm like, okay, now it's like we're on stable ground a little bit. Like maybe let's turn a little inward and like start focusing on that because everything's gonna fall apart.
For sure. And like I've learned so much beauty in like that stillness. It's hard. Like and it sometimes I think like, why do I avoid it? Like am I scared? Am I scared to like just chill?
I don't know. Are you?
I don't know, dude. I'm like I've made of an effort, like when I'm home, I'll put my phone like in the room so I can enjoy time
I
at
would
home.
actually you're working 20 hours a day. So
It seems like it, huh? So,
like I don't know. Well, like doing the most, girl. Like just so you know, you can chill like sometimes.
you know what's crazy? Like, so I do that with like this like voice in the back of my head, like, there's 60 girls depending on you. That was confirmation fish. That, that always happens when I'm doing a podcast. I'm not editing that out because that happens all the time. But like that voice is in my head where I'm like, no, there's 60 women depending on you. Like you have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And then when I talk to them, they're like, are you okay?
Yeah, no, you really do. You do the most, and I know you do it for everyone. Like it really, and that's what's like. I mean, obviously that's what's making you so successful. Let's do it part in the right place.
Yeah.
And like you were doing the one thing for the right reason.
Dude, I have like a to-do list of my notes where I'm like, okay, I gotta do this. Like, this is all the stuff I need to do. Because I really, when I'm home, I'm home.
Yeah.
Like, I don't,
I
yeah.
get that.
So all the things
So
that
you really
do.
do get a lot of your work done when you're in this.
Okay, so sometimes when I feel not down on myself, but like there's definitely ups and flows, right?
Yeah.
I think like, God, I feel like I've manifested you. Like I remember when I wanted a tattoo artist, a piercer, I wanted all these things. And now that I have it, I do like enjoy it where I just kind of like sit back and watch. Like when I chilled on the movie night on Friday, I was actually really proud of myself.
Yeah.
But it's just amazing like to have you here. Like, how did you, I mean, it's kind of like a cheesy question, but like when did you blow up? Like was it this year?
I haven't blown up. Yeah, no, I think this has been my most below a year.
You fucking blew up, dude. I think you did.
Yeah, no, and I did. So, quickest rundown of like how I got here professionally is like I said, was coming off of this like tough period where I wasn't working a lot. I worked for Coffee for like 10 years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was a general manager in downtown for like the last year. I like ran 2 stores in downtown LA. I went to college. I got my degree in English and like my emphasis is in poetry. I really wanted to get into like editing or like some kind of writing, but I was like, oh, I've been working for coffee forever. Like maybe I'll go into technical writing with corporate. Because like I always worked in training stores. I was like, I'm really good at this. They were like having a change in management and like it was just like change in ownership, I should say. And so everything was just like a clusterfuck and like I kind of got lost in the sauce. And I was like, okay, fuck this. And then like was dealing with my own personal issues. So I ended up quitting coffee bean, working on my mental health, and then I started doing professional organization because like I also have diagnosed OCD, so that was like one of my strengths.
Are you serious?
Yes.
How interesting.
Yeah. So I started doing professional organization like under the table in like for like well, I don't know, a year. And that turned into like housekeeping. So I just started like doing housekeeping, like keeping up with clients. Like people like just trust me.
Yeah.
Like to go into their home and like start seeing their children, their pets, like I don't know what their complaint is, like what but people are just like, yeah, of course, like come in. Like and I was like I'm very blessed, like and I'm trustworthy, which is great, but I'm just like it always surprises me a little bit because like I guess I'm not like as trustworthy, I don't know. But like working on that.
In progress.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I was just like, wow, okay, so that was cool. But anyways, my brother had started tattooing professionally. My brother's also like a jack of all trades. He is an amazing musician, an amazing chef. He's always been an amazing artist. He owns a bachelor's of fine arts in drawing and painting.
Oh my God.
So like he had dabbled in tattoos when we were younger, but then like this now years later, it's like 2015, no, 2019. So he got like this job at like a tattoo shop with our friend Cambria, who lives here in Paradise. So he got a job with her doing tattoos, and I have never considered myself an artist ever, ever because of my brother, because he was so good, and like my brain is just completely different. Like
Yeah.
he's a very like I said, drawing and painting, like he's messy, he has chemicals, he has paint everywhere, his like room is like an explosion. And I have OCD, so I was like very like, no,
Yeah.
that's not gonna work for me, like very organized. But I used to rewrite my notes as a child, like in elementary school,
Are you?
middle school. I rewrote them like over and over again until they were like nice and pretty and perfect. Nobody's reading them, like nobody's looking at them, just me. Like, but that was my brain, and I was like very much like I want to be in control of it. So he started tattooing, and he's like, everyone loves script tattoos. Like, you should see if you can tattoo. Like, it's, I'm like working at the shop, like, get him to do whatever. So, my ex-father-in-law was also a tattoo artist, like back in the day. And so, my ex was like very supportive, and he got me a tattoo machine for my birthday that year. So that was like October 2019. And I went into the shop with my brother and like did like one piece of fake skin. And he was like, oh my God, like you're so good already.
So
I was like,
good.
how have you done with me already? Like this coming from like, he had been drawing paper his
Yeah.
entire life. and was like attempting to talk to me professionally. And he was just like, "You're already better than me." Like, you know? And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm finally getting my girl something." I was so stoked. I was like, "Here I go." And so, yeah, so like, turns out all that practice, talk about like freaking, I don't know, butterfly effect, whatever it is, all that practice my entire life of being like a little insane person, like, I had been practicing the tattoo essentially. Like, that's what it felt like. It was like, oh, it all makes sense now. Like, this is why I'm the way I am. Like, and it was like, so I started basically just like practicing off the bat. And then I got a job at that shop that my brother was working at. Like, I did Friday the 13th, like a month into tattooing.
Wow.
Yeah, I did like 20 people like in one day, and like I haven't been tattooing for like a year. And I was like, okay, like, here we go. Oh, like, you just have to believe you can do it. And somebody was giving me an opportunity, so I was like, fuck it, here we go. You know what I mean? And I was like pretty confident with my line work already. Shady color and all that shit, that had to come later. Like, I'm still always learning and trying to be better and better. But like, yeah, that's where I started. And so I ended up quitting that shop like almost immediately, like in March, right before we shut down,
Oh shit.
because I did not appreciate how I was running business. So I was like, okay, like I don't want to work for you. Granted, like, I had not worked for anyone for a couple of years. And I was just like, this is not for me. Like, I can't not do this my life. So my brother and I both quit on the same day, actually, because my big brother is very brotherly, and he was pissed about how things went down too. And like, actually found out that the guy was making more than he was paying my brother. And like, we had like, I got hired after him. It was crazy. It was crazy. He was like, "This guy, we're out." So
I love a big brother
yeah,
though.
yeah, literally. I was like, so we ended up like just talking that meeting, and then everything shut down. So I ended up definitely taking a pivot, started drinking again, started dating again, um, and was tattooing out of my house for like 9 months. It was a great time. I was partying, having
A vibe.
a ton of fun. But so, but I was like, yeah, just having a really good time, just a good time. And so all my friends had unemployment money, and I was just like practicing like for 9 months straight. I was just tattooing all the time. Like, it was crazy. I was just like, wow, this is awesome. And so, but like, and you're saying like, when did you blow up? When this is the first time that like I really looked at like what I was making back then when I like first started. Obviously, like when we first started shooting and charging how much anyway.
Yeah.
But I was just like, making sets or whatever. And I was making back then like in a month what I would make in like.
Oh my God, I love
And
that for
that's
you.
like so crazy. But anyways, so I'm working at home, and then my brother gets a job at another tattoo shop, and he's like, "You should come here. It's sick. It's dope. It's a commission-based shop." The owners were like marketers. They were like really into like pushing business, and I think the commission-based shop is great for new artists because the owners obviously invested in how much money you're making, so they're gonna like market on your behalf, like try to push you business and stuff because they don't make money unless you make money.
Right.
So it's really good for new business or new customers or artists. But anyway, so I worked there for 2.5 years actually, and we had a great time. And worked with Cam there too. I worked with Nikki there. Yeah, just like really have like met so many clients that like are still my clients today, which is amazing. But like we worked constantly busy, and like I was very tired all the time. And I was still partying pretty hard. So that was really difficult because I like just felt like garbage all the time.
Yeah.
I literally like come to find out like, and I had had COVID like multiple times. Like, I got sick all the time. Because my immune system was just really run down from like not sleeping, not eating, not taking care of myself. So mentally and emotionally, that was like a really difficult time for me. But creatively, I like thrived because that was like the one thing that I had like consistent in my life, and like that was mine. You know what I mean? Like, things with my ex were great, so like it was just like I'm going to work. Like, it was my domain. And like I thrive. My clients love me. You're at the gap, or I'm having a great time. You know what I mean? And like it really built up my confidence so much. And like, this is my business. Like, this is what I can do. And like helping people. Like, and yeah. So I got to a certain point where I was like, okay, like this commission thing isn't working for me. Like, I need to make more money. And there was no room for growth. It was 50-50.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Is that how they usually work? Oh my God. That's tough.
Yeah. So I was like, after almost 3 years, I was like, okay, I have my own clientele now. Like, I'm ready to like kind of pay my way. So I got hooked up with a rental situation, like a booth, and it was $900 a month. And I was like, okay, I can manage that. Like, it's gonna be tight, but granted, I was married at the time. My bills were like paid mostly
Yeah.
by his paycheck. So like, it was really like, I was in a good financial place to do that. Um, and then we separated the day before I started.
I didn't even know you were married.
Yeah. Yeah, we separated the day before I started at the new shop. And I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like, what am I gonna do? Like, now I have to move. Like, now I have no money from shit. I have no car. Like, he took the car and one of my dogs and left. And it was so chaotic. And I was just like, where do I go from here? So again, tattooing has always been the consistency in my life and like my grounding space. And my mom was like freaking out. She was like, Sarah, you can't be paying $900 a month. Like, because I was like, obviously, like, mom, I need money.
Yeah.
You can't be doing this. Like,
Help me.
yeah. And thankfully, I had really good people, like, in my family and in my friendship circle that, like, helped me out during this time financially, which was, like, it's just, like, such a blessing. People are, like, willing to do that for you. Like, not everyone has that. I'm so fucking lucky. And so I was able to make it work for 6 months. And I was like, Mom, like, I just need something to, like, not change for 6 months. Like, I just left my old job.
Yeah.
I'm leaving my marriage, like, leaving my apartment, lost one of my dogs. Like, I need something to just be calm in my life for a while. So I stayed there for 6 months and I was doing events with Jordan. We had started doing events, which by the way, I always wanted to do events, even when I started tattooing, and then we're not done not like great. Good idea, haha. Yeah, like I had always wanted to do that. But Jordan and I had started doing events. And Jordan and I have such a special relationship. We met when I was working at my tattoo shop, the commission shop. And well, we didn't meet there. We met when we were 9.
Okay.
Yeah. We went to elementary school together.
Okay.
And she was like the coolest girl, you know what I mean? Like I loved her once we were grad, and I remember she like invited me to a single run. Yeah, she's amazing. Her mom's amazing. Like her mom gave me like my first highlights ever, like as a kid. Um, so when I was working at that shop, Jordan and I had lost touch through high school and college. Like we haven't talked in years and years and years. Unfortunately, her best friend, one of our mutual friends that like from elementary, passed away. And she wanted to get a memorial tattoo for me. Our friend Marissa in the same elementary school group, like had gotten a tattoo for Hannah from me. And so Jordan reached out and was like, hey, like we're just tattooing now, like this is a tattoo for me, like I want to get you knew Hannah, like I want this is special for me, like I want you to do this. And I was like, absolutely. So like it was super like monumental and amazing. And that's literally how we reconnected and like talk about like if shit hadn't happened. Like we always are talking about like Hannah literally like orchestrated us like coming back into each other's lives. Like and that's why we hold our like our friendship and our relationship like so dearly is because like we're so lucky to have it. And so yeah, we started working together. We do the collab with jewelry with tattoos. Um, so when I was working at the rental shop, Gordon and I had been doing events like at their house, like maybe once a month, and they were successful.
Yeah.
And I was making my 1 month's rent in one day.
Yes.
And I was like, but then I was like, I'm spending all my money on rent. You know what I mean? Like in my one event a month, I was like, I'm just literally paying into rent. And I would maybe have like 2 appointments throughout the week at the shop, but otherwise I'm just sitting there. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I paying all this freaking money for? Like, this is crazy. Like, what if I just did more events? You know what I mean? And like, I talked to Jordan and I was like, I'm really struggling with this freaking thing. I was like, maybe I can just like put my stuff in storage and like travel, like and do events. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And she was like, dude, don't pay for storage. Just pay me stuff in my garage. And I was like, yeah, that would be great. So I put my stuff in her garage and I was like, yeah, I'll just like travel and like I'll just like do house calls and stuff. that didn't work out. I ended up just working out of her garage during the week, and she was so gracious with her time and space, and her husband too. They're an amazing family, and so yeah, so I ended up just working out of her garage for like I don't know 8 months and doing events. So I left the shop in March of 2024. Between then and March 2025, I did 50 movies.
Oh my God.
A lot.
I was like, what's the average? You like
Yeah,
broke my brain.
like 4 months.
That's great.
Yeah, so I was just like hit the ground running. Like obviously I met you in
Yeah.
that time. So I met you in May, right after I left the shop or whatever. So ended up, working here once a month, which has been a godsend. And then meeting other people through that, meeting other people through this, like, and that's how I blew up is because my expanse, my reach just went super wide because you meet somebody at an event, they tell somebody if they get tattooed, I'm doing 8 to 10 people per event
Here, right?
at any
Every event, yeah.
So that times 50 is a lot of people that I've tattooed. And granted, a lot of them are, the same people over and over, but a lot of them are also new people. And then they tell their friends and then they tell their friends and then people see me and they're like, oh, like I literally did one at a brewery and like somebody met me and like I wasn't even tattooing and they were just like, oh, like do you do this? Like other like at breweries or whatever. I was like, sure, I'll tattoo at your brewery, so like got a gig through that and like, then meet people there. So it was just like that was able to like really just expand and bartering and meeting people and like, networking and whatever. Like I started working with Andy doing like, the nails and tattoos night or day and like yeah, just having consistent like events led to just way more shit. And so my boyfriend and I, plot twist, I got a boyfriend.
Yes.
I was like,
We love Ruben.
yeah. So my boyfriend and I literally just like hunkered down. He like helped me so much, like with moving out of my old apartment and moving, shit to my mom's house and then moving to Jordan's and then, just like he's definitely like always been like a cheerleader for me. And he, like I said, like we both were just like neither of us were in a place that we wanted to be when we met. And we were like, you want help? Like,
Yeah.
and we're just like, yeah, like you're cool, like I like you, like let's like do things together. And like turns out like we're really good at doing things together and like we're good at accomplishing things and like keep each other like so grounded. And so yeah, so I ended up saving up a bunch of money by not paying rent for 8 months, and we got our beautiful little speakeasy of an apartment in Long Beach.
I love that for
Which
you.
is like it's like a duplex, but like in the back of the house. Like obviously you can't see it in the street. Like whenever people come over, I'm like, it's in the back.
We love the catch. Do you know where my first store was? We love a speakeasy.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's so quiet and like where we have been living like was so chaotic before, like on Broadway, like right across from the bars.
Yeah.
Like so much drama, so much like just violence and weird things.
Like
happening.
energy, huh? Yeah.
So bad. The energy was so bad. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I had been there living there with my ex and then living there with Ruben, in a different apartment, like but in the same area. Like, so I've been there for like 5 years and I was just like, I can't get away, like can't get far enough away from each other. I didn't get that far away. I love Long Beach. But it feels far, okay? So yeah, we moved and it was just like such a like we had just literally been praying for this amount of peace for like a year, you know what I mean? And like finally got there. And so now I have my studio and I like have really consistent business and really amazing clients. When I moved out of Jordan's garage, she was super bummed.
I'm sure.
She comes over once a week. And that's like her, we have girls' night at my house once a week with women.
Wait, I love that. I want to go.
Yeah. Oh, you should come. Yeah. No, it's always just like Jordan and then like she brings like 3 or 4 people. Because like I said, we bartered. So she's still like a dumbass bitch. Like she's still like, girl, you gotta get creative and bring your client. Like she's literally like, I tell you, so many people find me through her. Like I really owe a lot more. And you at this point, like in my business being last year, both of you guys have been like very instrumental in getting my name out and just like having people follow me and like find me.
I've never thought of it from that perspective of like when someone stops me and is like, hey, like, thank you.
Yeah.
It like warms. I'm like, what? I never thought about it like that.
I don't know. Absolutely, girl.
Honestly, it's been a pleasure. Like, I love you.
Yeah, I told you the other day, I was like, when I gave you my little necklace, I was like, bro, 1 year, like, you've done so much for me in the last year, like, you have no idea. Like, it's just like, I mean, even just for my own sanity, like, knowing that I always have a place to go. Like, you're literally creating a safe space for me
Ugh.
as a person.
My mom told me that and she made me cry. We were like, she's like, you're doing all these things, but you don't realize that like what you're creating is a safe space for women, like to go on a Friday or like to go on a Saturday or Sunday. Like, stop. Like,
That's your you, and you're so beautiful.
I've always been good at that. Like, even when I was working, like with like the associates, it was just so hard not to talk to them and like get to know them as people.
Yeah.
And that was probably like my biggest downfall. Like, there's all this shit going on, and I'm like, no, but like, how are you? Are you okay?
It's like for perfect.
Literally. I like really believe that, dude, the dreams I've been having lately are fucking crazy. And like, I don't know. I just have this like realization lately where I'm like literally like stripped from our bodies. We're just souls from the same thing. Like, whatever you want to call it. Like God, source, whatever. Like, we're all just souls in these like different looking bodies.
No.
And like there is a plan. Like when you were talking, I was like, how awesome for you to have met Jordan. And then you relink later, and then you meet Ruben when you need him. I think that like all this is like predicated for us, and it's like it's just playing out.
Mm-hmm. It's insane. I wouldn't have met Ruben had his best friend unfortunately also passed away.
Wow.
And like Hannah and his best friend Billy who passed away, like they were like around the same age. And like so even for Jordan and Ruben to connect has been such a beautiful thing to watch because like they're two people from like way different times in my life who like love each other dearly. And like it's so special to watch their relationship blossom because of the similar losses that they've experienced. Like they don't even talk about it. It's just like literally intrinsic. Like they just like understand like each other, I think, in a way. And like, his friend Billy like was not in a good place and like he essentially came to like my neighborhood like with Cooper and we wouldn't have met, like, had we not like, you know, honestly like just really cared and like, put himself in a place of like vulnerability. And then like I met him and then I was in the super vulnerable place at the time. And like I said, we just like helped each other like build up from there. And like Billy actually passed away after he and I met. And like it was just, I'm glad that I was like able to be there for him like during that time as well. And like that's almost still a going process of grief. Like, but the fact that like when we moved into our place, like it was so special because like I knew Billy too,
Yeah.
but we never actually all hung it together.
That's
Isn't
crazy.
that wild?
No, that's crazy.
That's what makes it like, how Jordan has talked about like me and him, like, Hannah bringing us together. I'm like really, really about me and Jordan together. I'm like, he never even knew that we were like friends or dating or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, and so it was just so wild. It's so wild because like when Ruben and I took that moment to like pause and like we're in our space and like we did it. You know what I mean? Like quote unquote, we're just like completely thought, like look what we created together. Like look how and like we have a giant poster of Billy in our studio.
I love
Like
that.
as a photograph that he took of him and everything took of him. And like we're just like, yeah, like we never forget that like all these threads like have paved our way from like, gotten us to where we are. And like just to continue to like listen to that intuition and like follow,
Dude, it's so
follow
real.
those paths, you know what I mean? And like really like put intention and attention into like where you want your life to go.
It's real for sure. Like, I think like there is free will. Like, you could have easily have stayed at that tattoo shop and maybe like we wouldn't be sitting here. I could have
For sure.
easily stayed in my comfort zone of fucking working and doing all the things, but I don't think I would have gotten married. I don't like what really pushed me out of there. So like every year in March on Anthony's birthday, I would have been in Vegas for the store manager meeting. And I remember being in Vegas for my first one, and I was like, I just want to go home. So
Everything
everything,
body was already telling
yeah,
us.
like I was
Like our bodies already know.
yeah, I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like,
Okay.
dude, so we were in Vegas. We got there on like Wednesday, I think, or Thursday. The meeting was actually Saturday, and then it was over. But we had, like, I could have stayed one more night.
Yeah.
So I remember I was like, I want to go home. So I dipped out, and Anthony was just like blowing me up, like, what are you doing? Like, where are you? And I wasn't answering because I was on my way home.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, fuck, he's gonna be so mad. So I rang the doorbell. He opened the door and looked at me, and I was like, "What did you think I was doing? I'm coming home early because I miss you." But like that would have done it. I started feeling like when I started coming home, like just depleted. Like I literally couldn't even like talk. It was like all those days of like me not being present added up, and I'm like, I feel so disconnected. Like I'm not gonna sacrifice this for a fucking paycheck every 2 weeks.
Having a job now that makes you cry happy tears.
Isn't it
Like,
crazy?
have a job that makes you
Yeah,
such a, it's like,
dude. Like
such a glow up. Like, it's
I
so real.
like reverse age. Like I look at pictures. I was like my color was gone. Like a bitch is glowing. Like this summer glow for real.
Yeah, no. When I was a manager, like at Block B, my whole career, I was just I was like going home crying, like not good mentally, like literally trying to escape my life. And yeah, I was like nowadays, like after the LadyLike Tattoo and friends
Oh
event,
yes.
like on the way home, like Ruben and I were just like, oh my God, like that happened. Like, and I was like just crying, like tears of joy because I was like, not only like do people like you and all the vendors show up for us, but like the community that we met outside of our workspace, like we played Match the Gathering and like we joined this club in Long Beach, like the Legendary Creature Club. And like we've met so many people through it and like so many of them showed up, like not only to help vend the food, but like just to support the event. And like and people from all different walks of my life, like, my cousin came and like, my old friend from that I used to work with at Coffee Bean, Johanna, like I hadn't seen her in like years. And like she came to then like, whatever. Like it was just like such an eclectic group of people from my life. And I was like, my brother's here. You know what I mean? Like everyone. It was crazy. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, Ruben, like, can we talk about the fact that like I did a whole ass event, like with people like he just like wanted to show up for us.
You
Like
did that.
that was amazing. Like I was just like so happy, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't even care if I lost to you that day. I would have been so stoked. You know what I mean? Like,
I remember someone told me they're like, I just get tattooed so I could talk to Sarah, and I'm like, girl, I kind of feel that. Like I kind of feel that.
like low key though. Like I think my biggest flex is like when people get tattooed by me, and then they're like, and I'm like, okay, like I'll see you again, and I'm just like, because I know I will. Like 9 times out of 10, I'll see them again, and like they're like, oh my gosh, dude, I want to get so many tattoos now. I'm like, it's literally what happens. Like people that I meet, like we will vibe and like you'll just end up getting more tattoos. I don't know what to tell you. Like it's just gonna happen. Like don't be in my vicinity if you don't want to get tattooed because I'm not gonna convince you. Like you're gonna want
I
it.
feel like you're like
Be friends.
you're like a magnet. I feel like you should come on Tuesday to get a reading with Maricela because you should figure that out. Like,
Yeah.
even especially, I always knew that, but like more so hearing your story. And people tell me this lately too. Like, the ones I go through the most are the ones that are meant to help others because how do you speak from truth if you've never experienced anything? I think that you're that person. No, seriously, you're that person. Like, dude, it's just such a beautiful
I
community.
used to be really into tarot, like psychic readings. Although my friend Tamara, who runs an amazing crystal business online, she does Reiki and she's like
Ooh.
really into that stuff too. She's actually illustrated a tarot deck right now and made me into a tarot card. That's really
Please tell me it's the High Priestess.
no, it's not her name.
Ooh, I do actually. Okay, so I'm gonna announce this here and we'll just work it out. But I want to do a practical magic. So I want to marry the movie night and the Mystics Market.
Mhm.
And I want to do like a practical magic movie night, but with a Mystics fair. But you can do like tattoos, whatever.
Yeah,
And but I want to do like the full parking lot. Like I want to do it
yeah,
big.
yeah.
So that's coming too.
Isn't that so good?
I love it. How do you feel?
So cool. I mean, I'm so honored. Like, I love her to death.
The
Um,
owl on your chest too. That's
she
crazy.
told it. But she and I used to go to get readings done, and there was this woman named Natalia. was it Natalia or Natasha? I forget her name, but she works at Psychic Eye in Torrance, and I like it was funny because I had seen someone else there, and I was like, yeah, like I just like didn't get the vibe,
Yeah.
and I didn't feel like it was very real. I was just like, I don't feel connected, or like I don't know, kind of seemed phony to me. And I it was like one of my first experiences with like a tour leader, and just like not into it. But then she takes me back and I go to this other woman and I was just like blown away. Like and someone recently told me that like when you feel chills, it's like from hearing shoes,
Yes.
highest frequency. So I was just like full body chills, like I was just like and she very much was like into the thing. And it was funny because my friend, her husband was going through like a job change at the time, this really out. And she had asked, like, you know, how are things gonna go with like my husband's career, like whatever, you know, usually like asking questions. And she was like, so something like she's gonna like get an offer from some company. And forgive me, I don't know all the details, but it was like I promise you it was legit. It was like some random word. It was like egg, whatever, like some egg company or something like that. And it was like, okay, like it doesn't work for like
Produce.
like what the fuck? Like it's just so random, like Animal House or something, some shit like that, you know? And then he's in marketing, and then like literally like the next week he got like a job offer from like some random like eccentric or whatever. And it was
That's
just like, wait, what?
crazy.
Like, so it was like just off the wall random. But it was like, how could she know? Like it was just like one of those moments where you're just like,
Dude.
what the hell, you know? And so I was like, okay, maybe she's legit. Like, let's go back to her. And so I went back to her a few times and I took Patty and like it was, and like I would record some of my sessions with her. And like literally years later, I like went back and like listened to the recordings and I was like, she was right about
Dude.
everything. Everything. I was like, whoa, like it was crazy. I mean, there's still things that are to be seen happening. I don't know.
So
It was wild.
I got a year in review reading from this friend. She's a friend now that I've met like years ago at a
Mhm.
pop-up. I just always felt really like connected to her. Like you could tell she's real deal. And in the year in review reading for this year, just like things were eerily spot on because she does it by month.
Okay.
Like girl, down to like,
That's-
yeah, like it was spot on. So I'm like watching the months ahead and I'm like, oh my God, what's gonna happen next? Right? Because like in July, she said like something big's gonna happen. Like a lot of applause. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So I would recommend her. The second
Okay.
person, Maricela, that's here on Tuesdays. This like literally just happened. Okay, I have to start from the beginning. So like
Mhm.
off the wall stuff always happens to me. Like when I first got my new car, me and my girlfriend had brunch at the Perch in LA.
Mhm.
And dude, like best day ever, like steak frites for lunch. Like it was great. Like we lived our best life. We get into the car, I lock the door and I grab my phone for like the directions and I just hear like banging on my window. And I was like, what the hell? So it was like a homeless dude with a boomerang, like a wooden boomerang. My car still has like the marks on it on the driver's side.
Oh.
So I'm like, okay, so I'm like just like looking and I like reverse my car and my friend's like, take me back to Orange County right now. Like she's freaking out. So the guy like walks in front of my car and throws the boomerang and my windshield like kind of cracked. And he's like chasing us like out of the parking lot. Horrifying. This happened like last week. There's this lady at the park where I live. She's like clearly homeless, has like issues, but she's scary. Like, and every time she sees me, she makes like eye contact with me and like chases me or chases my car. Like, it just doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
It feels like bad. So she chased me, and when I was walking all the other day, yeah. So like the day before, like this is my garage. I was driving this way, and she's in the middle of the street talking shit to like the car's driving. And she sees me and like makes eye contact and just like follows my car and she's like running after my car. So I have a video. I'll show you when we're done. It was scary. So I was okay. I can't open our garage because she's gonna go in. So I drove around the block so she got close and then I just took off and went inside. Well, the next day when I was walking out, I was coming back to our block and I heard someone yelling and it was her, like at the park. So I was like, okay, I'm just not gonna look. And I'm walking and she's like, look at me, like screaming. And I was like, oh fuck. Dude, like that's what Michael Myers must feel like because she was like chasing me and I was like, oh my God, like yeah, that was so scary.
Bye.
So Maricela, that happened on Sunday, I think. So Maricela's here on Tuesdays, and I'm telling her about it. Oh no, you're fine. And she's like, no, that was like a psychic attack. So she's like, we need to do a cleanse. So I'm like, okay, cool. I haven't had one in a few months. Like, let's do it. Dude, you need one, especially if you're like what you do for a living because you're absorbing all that.
It's just like actual ash, just like expelled
Gets
from
an,
my
ex-
body.
gets an exorcism.
Literally. Energy's off. And
Okay, so like she's doing this cleansing, and it was definitely different from the ones I've had before, but like just kind of more intense. And she's like, think about the times that you felt that in your life. Like when have you felt that fear? So I thought about the dude,
yeah, there's some.
the woman, and then she's like, there's one more time. And I was like, I had a really shitty ex-boyfriend before my husband. That was like not kind.
Scary.
Yeah, the Marine, kind of violent, kind of angry. And that was like, so I was just shocked that she knew that because no one knows that. My mom knows that, my brother.
Full chills, by the way.
Yeah. So like there was a time that like I was,
You're like, it just like,
it was fight or flight. Yeah. Dude, to the T. So like I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. I was trying to leave, like I was over it. Parked my car in the garage, never do that. I've never done that again. I went upstairs and he was eerily chill about me leaving. So I just like as soon as I got my stuff and I was like, okay, I had that feeling of like, bitch, get out. So I'm going down the stairs and he's like behind me, but like not saying anything. And I was like, I need to get the fuck out of here. Got in my car and I felt like, okay, cool. So like the garage doors are opening.
I'm like fully there.
Yeah, it's like it was scary. Dude, the garage door starts closing and I was like, what the fuck? So he's like at the door and he was like, you're not going anywhere. And he starts banging on my window, like my driver window, like trying to get me out. So I call my Nina and I was like, look, if I don't call you in 10 minutes, you need to call the cops. And I just hung up. She was like screaming. Thank God his roommates came home because they are the ones that opened the garage and were like, go, like get out, do not come back, go. But that was the first time I felt that feeling. And it
because he was banging on your fucking car window.
dude, when she said
I'm like gonna cry. That's insane.
when she said this is a lesson, this is something that's happened before, there's another time. And when I thought about I like saw the guy banging on my window, I was like, it's the same feeling.
Yeah.
It's the same feeling. Me
Yeah.
running from her was the same
Yeah.
feeling. So she was like, there's and I forgot what she called it. We did not call that energy back.
Yeah.
But when she said, like, I sensed it, but it was hiding, like, under, she's like, but it's gone, we took it. And I'm like, how many people are walking around relearning that
Oh
lesson?
my god.
Dude, that's what I'm telling you. Like, I really,
Because I'm like, I wonder like why do you think that top? Like, is it because you like weren't letting go of that like energy?
she said that, like, basically, like, that's where I learned that. Like, he opened that. Like, he did that and opened that. And I was like, susceptible. Yeah. And it's so, okay, tea time.
Check me out.
I mean, I'm not grateful for what happened, but I'm grateful that it happened because I was young and like, he taught me what I didn't want. It was like a tough lesson to learn, but my husband is like, so kind and so real.
Unfortunately, it takes us down with some shitty fucking situations to like sometimes really build that like confidence in what we want and what we deserve and learn what not to do and also learn how we react to
Yes.
situations and how we react to shitty situations and shitty people. And like I fully like know that the universe must continue to send me lessons on that and like just interpersonal shit and like, you know, dating your parent.
Oh my God, yeah.
And like seeing the like similarities in that and like how you react, like where your trauma is. And I think a lot of that is like really like meant for us to heal.
It
You know what I
is.
mean? Like because it's like life is so imperfect and so messy and so complicated. And it's like we're all just like a bunch of energy like rolling around together and like so obviously like everyone carries trauma. It doesn't matter. Like I did schema therapy for a while too,
What's
just
that?
trying to like talk about like basically how your parents fucked you up. And like everyone has schemas, like everyone. So it doesn't matter if your parent was like the most doting, like you're gonna have to answer shit from that. If your parent was deductible, you're gonna get shit from that. You know what I mean? It's like and it like one, it was like a little bit of a relief when I started looking at skin therapy because I was like, oh, okay, like nobody's good to really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like nobody's a perfect parent. Like we're all literally human and like are gonna fuck up. And like as kids, like we're so vulnerable and mushy and like we're gonna get fucked up. You know what I mean? Like so I feel like relationships and like the fact that we like gravitate towards people like our parents, like a lot of people can get stuck in like a really vicious cycle and like not ever learn that lesson. But like if you do start recognizing patterns and you do start like putting the work into like changing your behaviors and your responses, like to no longer be based on surviving, but to be based on like thriving, you know what I mean? Like your whole outlook, everything changes, and that's when like the real healing starts because
Dude,
you
yes.
can like see what it is that you're like where you're going wrong. Because like I read that the other day that was like, you know, we learn all of our skills and like reactions and like coping mechanisms and stuff based on like the will to survive. Because as a child, like we're literally just like trying to survive, you know what I mean? But like now it's like, hey, we can survive, we know how to like think about it. So we have to change our reactions and we change our attitudes on things a lot of the time and see like where those things are not serving us anymore.
Do
We don't have to like put up all the walls.
do you believe in soul contracts?
Explain to me what you mean.
Okay.
Because I'm like, somebody's talked to me on soul contract before, but I don't know if it's the same thing, right?
So again, this lady randomly came in a shop and
Like literally every day this shit happens here, I swear to God.
I know.
You're just walking around like my second great granddaughter's and she's like, I swear to God, every story you tell me is like this. I'm like, it starts the same way.
It's my life. It's my life in this place.
Oh, it's so I know it's real. Like, I know it's actually happening. That's what's so trippy. Because it's like it's not till we sit down and like start talking about this shit. It
Yes.
happens to me and Patty too. We'll start talking about shit and then you start realizing like, bitch, the universe is constantly talking to me. Like, and I'm just not listening.
I
Like,
know.
she'll be like, okay, so then this happens, so then this happens. I'm like, girl, if I had a map, I could like connect the fucking dots, dude. Like, what? I'm like, hello, like, listen. And so, like,
No,
you're not realizing that this is happening.
it's
I think you
happening.
do, but like, this is a sign for everyone to like
Just follow the
pay
signs.
attention to these moments and also like tell people this random shit that happens because sometimes it's like such a mind fuck when you like sit down and talk about it and then you're like, oh my God, it's been so clear the whole time.
It's literally the Matrix.
Yeah.
Well,
So anyway, she
hey.
yes, Virgin Mary statue. It's so funny. Like when you say things that I can feel it. It's really like our energy is very connected. Like
I love
when we're
this.
thinking, like I can actually feel like I felt like I was in a church right now. You know what I mean?
We
Like,
definitely have a soul contract.
I feel the energy changing when you're like putting me in that place.
I love
And I think
that.
that's really special.
No, it is.
That's what I told Ruben the same thing. Like when he tells me things or like describes this like a story or like tells me a story or whatever, like I'm like I feel like I can see it through your eyes, like through your vision, and that's like such a special connection with someone because not everyone can do that.
We're both Aquariuses too, by the
Yeah,
way. We're just
I think that's
magic.
so funny.
We're
Yeah,
just
maybe it's
magic.
just the Aquarian magic.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No, you're so fine. This is why I bring this up about the soul contract. So she's holding my hands and she was like, okay, like, do you feel better? And I actually did. I felt more in my body.
Yeah.
Like I was like
That's what I need
in my body.
So that's in my body. Like
It's a thing.
Like you feel like you're like, yeah, it's 17. Like
Yeah.
keep having moments where I'm like, I'm not even high, and I'm like, I feel so faded right now, but I feel like what is real. And that's
that
kind of a thing with the association. And
No, it is.
anyways. So like I know like but I can get out of control. So I'm just like what do I need to do? What do I need to take? Like you know, like what do I need to like
Just breathe, girl.
you know?
Okay. So then she's like, the relationship with your dad, it's mending. And I was like, how did you know that? I had just had lunch with him the day prior, and it was like the best lunch we've ever had. Me and my dad, my real dad, have like a strained relationship, but I'm working on it. I'm in a place of like understanding his side. It's weird.
Yeah.
So she's like, tell me what you want to tell him. And I was like sobbing, bitch, like sobbing. But I said it. And then, at the end, she's like, you know, right? So she's like, hey, you know, she's like, when our souls decide to come to Earth, people are like, okay, they're brave. Like, dude, like, I feel like she was telling me a story, but I felt like she was putting me on game almost. I'm just going to tell you how she said it. She's like, when our souls decide to come to earth, everyone at the table, your angels, your guides, your family, your soul family, everyone joins you at the table and says, okay, these are the lessons that are going to happen. We decide, okay, this is the lesson I want. So like, she's like, for you, for example, like me, she's like, your soul said, my lesson's going to be forgiveness. And she's like, and everyone at the table goes, oh my God, that's such a hard lesson to learn. She's like, then people say, hey, I'm going to be your dad and I'm going to be the one to give you hard lessons so that you can learn to forgive. And she's like, so when souls have soul contracts, whether that person's there sent to you for good or bad, if they don't fulfill that, did you see that?
Mhm.
She's like, if they don't fulfill that, they're not fulfilling their end of the bargain with like God.
Mhm.
If you don't learn your lesson, you're not fulfilling your end of the contract. So she's like, sometimes if your dad is hurting you, it's because that's the contract you have together, and your lesson in this life is to mend that. Girl, when she told me that, I was like,
This is so
so I was like, oh my God, this is wild. So you start thinking about the people that have hurt you, and you're like, it kind of puts you in a place of like understanding where you can forgive. So she's like telling me all this stuff, and I've been thinking, like, what am I healing? I think it's that. I think it's like the trauma with fathers, because I did like really forgive my dad. And in that reading, that lady told me, when you forgive your dad, you're not just fixing that, you're fixing your dad and his dad, your grandpa. You're fixing your grandpa and your great grandpa. So you're healing all these things for your family in this lifetime, and you're living different. And I was like, oh my God.
cool.
I know. That's fucking deep. I'm sorry I took it there, but like, this is my life.
If I'm living about that way, like I'm feeling something, like I feel like the relationships, like and like I'm very much like a serial monogamist, and like keep finding myself in these situations, and like
I'm shook.
and like recently it was last year, my uncle passed away, and I was at my job's house with my aunt, and she was saying that my great grandmother told her, and like her brothers and sisters, but not on feet, to never be with a man who drank, not even know it. And I was like, why? And like, because my brother had brought up something that my dad had said about them losing a baby, like my great grandparents, or like losing a child or a child dying or something like that. And apparently, my great grandfather was an alcoholic and spent like all his money on his friends and drinking and whatever. And um, they had a child that was sick, and he was like supposed to go and get medicine, and like didn't come back for like a long time, and like the baby passed away, and like she like hated him for it, and like blamed him for it. And I was just like, and it was like when I heard my aunt say it, it was weird. So like in another room, and she said the thing about like not being with a man who drink, I was like, and I've like typically chosen men who like have struggles with addiction, and I was just like, I was just so blown away. It felt like my ancestors were talking. Like it felt like my great grandmother was speaking to my aunt right now, and like passing down this lesson and like making things different. And like Ruben and I had a really good conversation after that, because like I told him like how I felt about just like substance abuse and alcoholism, and like the goal that I want for our life. And he was very much like, I hear you, and like, has been like a really good partner in that regard, like in like supporting my sobriety, and like also like being on this own journey, like where he wants to be with it, you know what I mean? And like taking accountability for like this, like downfalls and like hits that come with that. And like it was just so intense, because like I was able to like honestly tell him like that's what I felt. Like I want to like be the one that breaks this thing.
You are.
Yeah.
You're already doing it.
Yeah. And as far as soul contracts go, I do believe in that. And like my friend Sandra that made the tarot card, the last time we got lunch, which was like so random because I barely see her, like I don't see her enough in person. She lives in Redondo Beach and like has 2 kids, and like well, she had 3 kids, but 2 little ones, and it's just like, yeah, crazy mom stuff. So like we don't make enough time to see each other in person. But the last time we did see each other, she was telling me about this like book that she's writing, and like very much, and like she had done a past life like session with
Yes.
somebody before and said that I was her dad.
I believe that.
Yeah. That I was her dad and then or her maybe her grandpa and like her son was her dad or something like that. And she was just like, yeah, but like we definitely like have like met in other lives and like we are connected, like our souls are connected. And she very much was talking about the idea that like we choose to like come to Earth. And like so that's why I was tripping out when we first started saying that, like when our souls choose to come to Earth, because like that was her like that's her ideology. And she was like, you know, we're basically like trying to like we have to like forget everything that we know like when we come here, you know what I mean? But like there is so much more going on in the universe and I don't go much into it because I don't want to like spoil like that. But like you know what I mean? But yeah. She was talking a lot about that stuff and like our choice to be here, which I think was interesting because I never really thought about it that way. And then, you know, just like trying to like go back in line with like the energy and like back to like the reason why we're here. And like not so very much like along the lines that we were talking about too, of like having those lessons to be learned and like the people around us like are people that follow us throughout like many lifetimes perhaps and that like are here for whatever reason and like take different form and that's what I mean by like having the connection with you having a connection with Ruben having a connection with it and the possibility is like when you think about all of us being energy and like bouncing
Yes.
together and like you know the world is so fucking huge, but like here we are, and like we're in close proximity. So like take the time to like try to have a connection because like these are like everyone around us is here to teach us something, and we're here to teach them something, and like that's what humanity should be about. You know what I mean? So when you find that person where you're like you recognize their soul, it's like so fucking beautiful. And you can like sit down and have conversations like this that are just like out of this world.
Dude, so
I'm like literally in transcendence right now. I'm
no,
like,
I love it.
that's what I'm like.
There's this book that I have. It's called The Daily Stoic. But you read a passage a day. It's super easy, but it always resonates. And like my first year at the old shop, I remember just wanting to like control everything. And I'm like, oh my God, how do I keep this? Like, how do I sustain this? And it's like, I remember reading this like thing and I forgot the exact quote, but like the gist of it was if you can accept that nothing's actually yours, like nothing is yours forever.
Yeah.
Your pets, maybe your partner, maybe your job, whatever.
Yeah.
Like life is so much easier because like why would you want something to be forever? Like it just kind of changed my perspective because I remember that like that survival feeling and that like living in survival mode is for that. It's for like control. Like let's make sure that I have a 401k so that when I'm 80, I have all this money to spend. Like it's like this fucking really toxic circle of doing things. And that gave me peace.
It's so like human.
Yeah.
It's like we're so much more than human on the inside. It's like hard to like reconcile sometimes.
The crazy thing
And
is
like I have to do taxes, but like I'm
yeah,
just a spiritual being. Like
dude.
it's like what?
So one time I was home and I had this like this
I'm made of stardust. How dare you?
like this crazy download of like literally because my road rage is so bad, girl. So like one of my challenges literally like this has been like a week now
Yeah.
where I'm like I it's like hard to talk about, but it's like I have this like really strange thought of like, okay, if we're all just souls and you think about it in that regard,
Mhm.
like why are we ever meeting each other? Like why do countries beat? Like why are there wars? Like why are we hurting each other? And then I'm like, bitch, you can't even get to the shop without fucking cussing someone out. So then I'm like, okay, I could be a better person, right?
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I'm trying.
I just thought, okay, so trip like took them out to the screening of The Secret Life of Plants.
Ooh.
It's like a 1970s documentary. Ruben works for a holistic gardening company, so his boss like told us about it, and like we met as like a little group for like his work, and it is such a trip. It's like this guy who like experimented with like plant sentience and like connected electrodes to them, and like wanted to like show people that like plants have feelings. And very trippy, like science, you know what I mean? Like maybe not all super accurate, but it was like basically the wildest scene to me was these two live cabbage plants, and they like have electrodes hooked up to one, And they have two women walk into a room. One of them walks in and does nothing, like walks away. The other one walks in and destroys the other plant that's like not hooked up to electrodes. And the plant that's hooked up, like it starts like going fucking nuts. It's like, whoa, 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 right? Trippy. It's like, whoa, it's like
It's
the death
reacting.
of the other plant, right? So then that woman leaves. So then they have the woman that did nothing walk in again, and the plants chill. And then the woman who came in that destroyed the plant. The plants was freaking out again. Like he knew that she was the one that like fucking killed his friend. Trip. It's like, whoa, this is wild. And like not for nothing, like a lot of the documentary is just like really insanely beautiful imagery of Mother Earth and like lava and the mountains and mist, and you're just like, oh, that's the
Yeah.
most beautiful fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. And it's literally just Earth being Earth.
Yeah. Earth is earthing.
Wow. Like it was such a trip. I was mad. I took an edible. It was really, really, really beautiful. Really good. It's also scored by Stevie Wonder, not for nothing. Young Stevie Wonder who makes a cameo at the end of the film. I highly recommend everyone watch this.
I want to
And
watch it.
watch it because it is so effing good. It's just so beautiful and it like really makes you think about our connection to Earth, our connection to plants, just everything, and like our connection to each other, and like how our energy gives off like nonverbal things, and like how loss and grief and everything we carry around with each other affects the person next to us. And yeah, when you start thinking about that, like you definitely start thinking about like how your energy is affecting other people.
It's true.
And like if a plant can feel the death of another plant and we like see nothing, like then like it's true that like when we walk into a room we feel their people's energy and where their intentions are and where like if they need support or whatever. And it's like about listening to those little tiny fucking electrodes of like truth, like insane.
I'm learning to do that. I feel like I've lived a lot of my life on not people pleasing, but like trying to adapt. Like,
Yeah.
okay, no, it's me. Like, I need to change or I need to adapt. And I feel like that's why the energy you guys feel now, like, obviously, you guys didn't know me like 2 years ago. I'm totally different. Like, I feel like I'm just like more, it's crazy because back then I felt like I exuded confidence. But in the, like, why does a fucking Prada bag justify your
It's
success?
like false brand.
Yeah, like how is that my justification of success? And it just came from like a rough spot where like now I feel like super unapologetic about that. Like I'm learning to trust that. Like if like there doesn't have to be like an issue, but like if we're not vibing, then we're just not meant to work together.
It's like nobody can impress. Like
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel too. It's totally a different level of like being where you're just like, I'm so miss you, like and it's like not an attitude either. Like not like, oh no, miss you. It's like, no, I just like really don't.
Yeah.
And I'm really okay with like whoever wants to be in my circle and like wants to like make things happen and like be chill and like live our lives like the most beautiful, comfortable way.
Yeah, it's like I don't like I'm like really turned off by like anything like at a lower frequency now. It's kind of hard to explain. Like even like people that are like I'm like really close to her. I was really close to you. Like sometimes I'm around them now and I'm like, I just really don't feel the same. And I think that's okay.
It's huge, yeah, it's huge. That's definitely happens. And I feel good about it.
Cheers to
And like
life, dude.
like I hope the best for those people too. Like
Same.
I want everyone to be like on that same level, not to say that we're like above everyone else. But I'm saying like I think that nothing is linear and like I'm glad we're like on this point of our life, not to say that like it won't go back to being any other kind of way. You know what I mean? Like I think the goal is to like lift other people up with us and like some people are just gonna be on board with that guy too. You know what I mean? But like I really believe that like um I really believe that it's like the best place to be just to like want genuine connection and not like want to like just impress people.
It's true. Like even with my husband, like I feel like so much more in love with him now. And I feel like there was like not a he's gonna watch this and be like, what the fuck? But I feel like there was this gap of like numbness for like a year and a half when I got promoted. It was almost like everything else was secondary and that was like the focus. And that might be like a me problem, but everyone that I talk to is like, no, that's what it's about. Like 50% of marriages end in divorce. It's not because they don't love each other. It's just shit takes priority.
Yeah.
And like when I made that decision of like, no, fuck that. Like he's first, like my family comes first, everything changed for me. And honestly, I feel like I do believe that. Like, I do believe that our ancestors speak to us.
Yeah.
I do feel like you heard someone speaking to you, and like I do think you're like an empath to some degree. I can't wait for you to get a reading soon in the store. But honestly, this was like the best conversation I've had in a long time.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love you so much. That's episode 12. I don't know. Thanks, guys. Dude, an hour and 32 minutes.